What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Popcorn People Podcast. I am your host, Ricky Valero. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about Netflix's big event, Tudum, over on yesterday. It streamed for quite a few hours on Netflix and brought a lot of new shows, or not new shows, new movies, finales, all that good details. It's going to be an interesting rest of 2025. There's a lot of content to consume, and we're going to try to go over the best we can. As always, joined by my partner here, Mr. Tom Fisher. How are you, buddy?
What's popping, Colonels? Man, it's been a it's been an awkward weekend for me, but it's the weekend, so it's always a little good. And then Tudum's got that's a crazy event, man. Like the fact that Netflix, as much as people try to be like, there's nothing to watch on Netflix. I don't like Netflix. Y'all are liars. You can say all you want to. The fact that they have an event to not only just celebrate the shows, like with the activities and entertainment outside of like the event, but once they get inside and there's a packed arena, like Netflix is still popping and is going to be for the foreseeable future. It looks like.
It's the highest streaming service. Nobody's been able to touch it type of scenario. So it's not really shocking that we're continuing to kind of see the rise and the continued rise of them. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know what I mean? But that being said, before we dive into Tunum, you saw Wes Anderson's latest movie. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, the Phoenician scheme. This is kind of, it's quintessential Wes Anderson, right? You have dynamic camera work. You have these vibrant set pieces and aesthetics. You have this perfect like dry humor, and there's always this way that Wes Anderson kind of dramatizes the trivial and then trivializes the dramatic with comedy. There's a I mean, it's just as simple as things like, there could be a dog biting your leg, and the character is gonna just look at the camera like, or look at you, look at the situation like, yeah, it's just, I don't know, I don't know what to do about it. It's just there. And this one, it focuses kind of on capitalism and a murderous scheme along with family and his take on God being absent or being present in someone's life. And its course has got like a star-studded cast, Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Bryan Cranston, Riz Ahmed. I mean, just the list goes on. It's a lot of fun if you're a Wes Anderson fanatic. This is right up your alley. I'm sure it's going to be it's going to walk the line of like whether or not it is the emotional toll is better or worse than say like Asteroid City or the French Dispatch. But I enjoyed it. But I think I enjoyed more of the family dynamic, using the scheme as a vehicle to like hoist it up. If you're not a fan of Wes Anderson or just starting, I don't think this is the one to start on. But again, if you're a fan of his, it's quintessential Wes Anderson. It's the only difference I will say is that the vibrancy of the colors is it's more one note than usual, because this is more like set in like a desert setting. So a lot of it is various colors of like tan or sand variables. But no, it's always interesting. Michael Cera probably steals the show, most of the film, along with the scene. The scene with Tom Hanks and Bryan Cranston together is like a random basketball scene is fire. And I don't know why it was put in there. And I think that that's one of the things that Wes Anderson does very well, is he puts these random scenes that kind of could seem like they could spin off into their own thing, but he leaves it alone on purpose, and you're left like, what was that? I really enjoyed that, and I think that's kind of a special attribute that he's able to do in each of his films. But yeah, it's out right now. It's definitely very Anderson-y, the auteur that he is. So yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, I probably won't. Not a big Wes Anderson guy. Never have been. I think that his movies are weird and not in a good way. I'll probably watch it at some point this year. But
Yeah,
for me, I finally. So I just want to say this. I finally got around to watching Thunderbolts. Okay, and I want to say that Thunderbolts is a banger,
yeah,
and it deserves to make $1 billion at the box office because it's great. I don't really care what anybody says. It's top tier MCU to me. And I'm just gonna throw that out there. And I've been like going through my MCU rankings the last few days and trying to figure out where it ranks. And I'm like, it might be top 10. But yeah, so that with that said, let's transition over to the old Tudum last night. Let's see here. We're just gonna go based off the page. We'll share our thoughts. I watched a lot of the trailers, which I normally don't do, but I figured this is what we're gonna podcast about, so we might as well watch some of the stuff. We're gonna relive the moments here. Not gonna all this jazz. Not really all these still
Tudum.
to doom. Let's see here. Squid Game. Obviously, Squid Game is coming at the end of June. Or is it June yet? Today, June? Oh, it is June 1st.
Yeah, June 1st.
It is coming at the end of this month, so it's going to be interesting to see the final season kind of jump together. The trailer looks awesome. If you haven't watched Squid Games, Don, have you watched Squid Game yet?
Yeah,
All
dude,
right.
Squid Game is such a when it first came out too, it was such a breath of fresh air. And then you're wondering like, should you do a season two? Because when you see something like so like unique, you're like, oh man, like if you do more, you're gonna ruin it. And then you see season two, you go, never mind. I was unfamiliar with your game. I was wrong. And this third season, this final thing, it looks fire.
Yeah, and I'm glad that there's a third and final season. You know what I mean? I'm sure they might try to drum some stuff up in that universe, but I
Yeah,
really enjoy the idea. I'll be honest with you, I would really like a Squid Game, like how the game was completely made from scratch
yeah, like
type
the
of show.
idea.
You know, where the concept came from, how it came all together. I know we get glimpses and pieces of it throughout the series, but like a sole origin style Squid
Yeah,
Game, show or even a movie, I'd be down for.
yeah.
But it looks great. I can't wait for it. I am beyond excited for this.
And
Yeah,
shout out to Netflix for the way that they had the cast when they were presenting the trailer. That they let them they have them speaking in their language and have the subtitles up there. And I was like, that's really fucking cool because they could try to speak English, and I know if they don't do it very often, it can be very difficult. But the fact that they have the subtitles up there, because it is on a prompter, of course, but just the fact that we're able to live react, the audience is really cool.
yeah. Because if you look at it from that point of view, it's like it's allowing them to speak their native
Mm-hmm.
tongue and not have to. And that's what the show is. I mean, the
Yep.
show's in their native tongue, so it's like, hello, hey,
Yeah.
we can go deeper into that, but we won't. All right, Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery. Benoit Blanc is back. Wake Up. It was a little bit of a teaser. This cast is pretty deep. Daniel Craig
Yeah.
obviously returning is Benoit. Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Millie Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, Kaylee Spaney, Daryl McCormick are all joining this. It's going to have the film premiere on December 12th. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm excited.
Yeah. This one seems a little less comical. Like the vibe feels a little less comical than the other ones, and a lot of the cast they do more dramatic stuff. So I'm curious to see how this one's gonna play out. Except for Glenn Close, she seems like she's in her kind of obscure weird bag lately, and I'm down for this shit. So I hope she gets to play some over the top character because she's been really good at it lately.
Yeah, for sure. I was. Um, It's such an interesting cast. I think this one's a little bit different than what we've seen from him
Mhm.
before. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's such a unique cast, I guess you can say. I don't know what's going on with my computer right now, so we'll just have to pretend like we're seeing things on the screen. So, but yeah, no, I like what Ryan Johnson does, and I like what he brings to the table. Knives Out have been fun. Rumor is that the film is going to come out in theaters, so that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't, this is really cool. My computer's not working. Um, but it was cool to see this, to see the cast on stage. And while we're waiting here, what's the next thing on this thing? One Piece. Do you watch One Piece?
Man, I do not. I thought about it, but I feel like this is the one show that I really feel that you need to be like you not have watched the entire manga series, but at least be like 60-70% familiar with it. And of course, like, I have a son that's really into anime, so I'm familiar with Usopp and Luffy and Zoro and some of these other characters. And I've watched like half of the first season. I think when I was a kid, I watched like random episodes and I would catch it on, but I am super not familiar with it as far as except for the fact that I know there's like over like 1,000 episodes or something like that, and no one really knows what the One Piece is. But I do fuck with the journey as far as like Luffy is like he just wants to be king of the pirates and try to fulfill this destiny within himself, and then everyone along the way gets kind of caught up in the energy of the kid. So yeah, I'll eventually dabble into it, but like I'd rather be a little bit more familiar with the actual animated series to then go back and watch the live action so I can kind of compare a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. It's this little guy right here looks cute as shit, though. I don't know what that is, but it looks adorable.
I know.
Obviously, we had
Chopper.
Punk, Ripley, Morgan, Raquel, Kofi, and Xavier up on stage delivering the whole shabam here. Why is this notably? Wasn't Dom up there? Is this just like a?
Yeah, Dom was up there.
Where's Dom at, guys? Dom's the most important
I
person on
guess
the
because
stage.
he's the only person that didn't say anything.
Yeah, he was just. I mean,
He was just up there in all his mustache, mullet glory.
exactly. Ain't nothing wrong with that. All right, we got a sneak peek at Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. This to me was probably the highlight of the entire shebang. This is one movie I'm looking forward to. Del Toro is fantastic in his work. I mean, you saw it in Nightmare Alley. That movie was just a beautiful, beautiful film that I loved quite a bit. So I'm excited to see him back in his back working his magic. Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein. I mean, or Frankenstein. I'll, we'll see. You know what I mean? I'm still a we'll see on his character, or not his character, just as a person. Oscar Isaac, I'm a big fan of. So I'm excited to see what Del Toro has. And this is just a little taste. You know what I mean? They did just
Yeah,
enough to get you reeled in, just to be
yeah, and
like,
it,
hey,
it and it has that very like Del Toro, especially when it comes to the live action stuff, has a very like um distinct aesthetic where it kind of mixes like dark and surrealism and like the perfect amount of things that look you can't tell whether it's real or CGI.
yeah,
Um and the fact that he said that he's been building towards this his whole career that and when he talked about that he's always kind of had a Frankenstein's monster in every one of his films and I was like or a lot of his films and I was like oh dude now that he says that that is crazy, especially just looking back into Pinocchio. That is essentially like a Frankenstein story. And I'm a big fan of the book. I read it in college and probably a little bit in high school. Yeah, this was really exciting.
yeah, it's prime for that. It's going to be prime for that awards race towards the end of the
Yeah,
year, so that'll be interesting. Happy Gilmore 2. Um, I a movie that I'm not 100% sure we needed a sequel to, but I'm going to watch the shit out of it anyway because
it sounds
I'm
similar.
really I'm really hoping. Well, it's I mean, it's Adam Sandler, but like
Yeah,
I mean, like recent Adam Sandler exactly hasn't been lighting up our screen. But if the thing about it is though, the problem that I think I found with Adam Sandler these days is he's not leaning as heavy into the early days of his
Yeah.
comedy, which was kind of raunchy, kind of a little over the top, kind of crazy. And I'm really hoping we get a little teaser here of the little trailer here, and it is exciting to see so many different people cast in this. Fresh off watching Stick, which coming out on Apple TV. I can't really say anything about that because I don't think the embargo drop might have, but that to me was top notch. So like hopefully something maybe the comeback of Happy Gilmore should be fun. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm excited. Just I mean, Adam Sandler. Whether I think there's only two really big misses for me, and I can only really think of one off the top of my head, which was like Jack and Jill was not really my cup of tea. But like, it's always fun, and I think one of the what makes his movies really a fun time, especially when you're watching with other people, especially in our generation, as millennials, is just all the little cameos that he drops in, and the fact that like shout out to Adam for always putting his friends on, dude. That is the coolest shit to me. Is that he just like who am I cool with? I'm gonna put you in every movie I can. Oh, I just met you. Last year we hit it off. Hey, I'm gonna put you in this movie. Like that's the coolest shit to me. That he can not only make like these funny movies, but just the fact that he can take people who either don't act at all or haven't really acted as much, and he's like, I'm gonna just throw you in here, even if it's just for a one liner. It's really cool.
Yeah, he is one of those. Hey, these are my friends, and I appreciate that about Adam Sandler as well. Stranger Things. Holy cow! Did they announce a crazy ass release schedule for this?
Yeah.
Uh, 4 episodes are dropping on November 26th. Three more are arriving on Christmas Day, with the finale on New Year's Eve. Wild.
I'm not mad at that,
I'm not
honestly.
either. I've seen a lot of people go crazy. I like a weekly or a bi-weekly, weekly, or split,
Yeah.
and it's not that far apart.
Especially with a show that is like so expansive, and they want people to talk about it, and you want people to like, you know, it sucks when there's a huge show, you've binged it all, and you have no one to talk about it with because people are busy or whatever the case, and you're like, I can't talk about it with anybody I know. So the fact that they kind of give people time to kind of catch up, that is, I think, does them a great service. That way, we're all talking about it, and they get the most views. And then dropping it around the holidays. You have Thanksgiving weekend. I don't know when Thanksgiving
It
actually
is,
is
yeah,
this
it's
week.
Thanksgiving. Yeah,
Then
yeah.
Christmas, and then like that's really smart. And this, as much work as the Duffer Brothers have put into this season, as long as we've had to wait, no season has disappointed yet. So I can only assume.
Hold on. Hold on. Hang on. Hang on. Season 4 was kind of trash. Come on. I do think
I fucked with it though.
I do think I want not to interrupt you here. I'll let you finish picking up what you're saying, but I do think that we might have to do like a rewatch on here ahead of like the. I was thinking about this. I was like, maybe we should do a rewatch of Stranger Things ahead of the finale because it's
Right.
been a while since
It
it's come
has been a
out.
while.
But I was like, let's. I think it would be cool if we went down like memory lane of rewatching Stranger Things and giving our thoughts about it. A watching it now and then B ahead of the finale. But I'll let you finish what you're saying. I mean, season 4, I remember being highly disappointed in that garbage. But hey, nonetheless.
Oh no, it's just it's. I mean, it's leading up to something big. I hope. I mean, we've seen the story get to this Vecna character, and we've seen these the cast go from fucking like what were they, like 12 years old, and now they're all like adults. It's crazy. Um, to see this cast grow, and only what this is what the fifth season. Yeah, I hope that they are able to end this with giant crescendo. We'll see.
We will definitely see. I don't think you're prepared for that one. All right. So Wednesday, I apologize in advance. I don't watch Wednesday. So, do you watch Wednesday?
I do watch
All
Wednesday.
right. I watched like the first episode or first two episodes and just it wasn't my jam. And then I watched the TikTok trend of that music video thing for
Yeah.
60,000 times. But I didn't watch the killer's first 6 minutes because I don't know what happened in season one. But since Dom has, I'll let you have the floor for this one, man.
No, I think the season one of Wednesday was really fun. So I think the difficult part for diving into the Adams family, right, is walking this line of comedy and the macabre, and I think Jenna Ortega was able to encapsulate that. Now, the first season was a little more playful than I would have liked. I think it was still fun. I think we still got introduced to a world that can be expanded, with the school being all these kind of um, you know vampire types, werewolf types, sirens, and things like that. And the 6 minutes we see of season two, it does look like we get a it's gonna be a darker season. It looks like it isn't gonna solely just focus on her being at the school and dealing with her classmates, which I'm sure we're still gonna get a little bit of that, but um, it does. This one looks good. I mean, and we have a little more of a mature Wednesday who has come into being able to control a little bit her power set, and we see in the 6 minutes a very creepy Haley Joel Osment playing a serial killer that she is tracking down, and yeah, it looks like it's going to be a potentially better season than the first one. But yeah, it hit the. I mean, season one was a phenomenon. I mean, we knew people liked the Wednesday character, but I don't think I foresaw it being such a cultural thing, a cultural meme. But yeah, this one, I think it's going to be a good season.
Maybe I'll have to watch it. When's it coming out? Do we got to do a August 6th? All right. Maybe I'll go back and watch the first season before it comes out. All right. The one thing that I am excited about the most is Matt Damon, Ben Affleck being back on our screens again as a Miami cops. Um, yeah, I anything Ben and Matt, and
Yeah.
then you throw in Tiana Taylor.
Yep.
You throw her in, just throw her in. Yeah, this. I mean, the only thing that's making me sad is the film will release globally on Netflix January 16th.
I
The thing
know.
about this is my question is this is my question though. Is it good enough? And they believe that they might have like an awards thing here because maybe it gets released in like
That's
select theaters in
true.
December.
That's
Like, could it be a
true.
banger? Like that's
Because they did mention that it was akin to Heat and Training Day, and
that's what I'm
when they
saying.
initially said that when it came out, I said, "Huh, okay." And I did get that vibe when you see the trailer and they're walking into the house and they're like, "Yo, where's it at?" And the dog smells money, and I was like, "Oh." And you got this crew who look like they're uh, maybe not the best of crews. Maybe they are. We don't know the story completely yet. But the fact that Matt Damon's character had that tattoo on there, Sasha Kai said, "What does that stand for?" He's like, "Are we the good guys?" And I was like, "Ooh, this is seems interesting." So we have this fight within. It looks like within police forces of who's gonna get this $20 million, and the moral compass of being a police officer around probably feeling like, hey, we do all this things to help our community, and these drug dealers are living high and mighty while we don't get to. So it seems like an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, for sure. And what people need to know, like this guy, this for me, like the thing that he wrote that is his best work. The guy that wrote this movie wrote Smoking Aces, which is one of like a fucking
Mm.
banger of a movie. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. Like super excited about this one. I mean, anything with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, you have my full attention.
Yeah.
Two of my favorites. So, but yeah, overall, Tudum they dropped some bangers and lots of bangers, and I'm kind of excited to see, what some of the stuff has in store for us because yeah, I mean, this is just like an ice, like this is like a little drop. You know what I mean? This is like five or six things that are coming, but in between all of that, that there's like a million other Netflix things going to drop between now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they
So
even had their the YA crew of like Outer Banks
yeah,
and what's Forever. I haven't watched either one of the shows, so
I
I'm not
know.
super familiar. But I know like people are obsessed with these shows, especially Forever just came out this year, and I've heard
Mhm.
nothing but good things.
Lady
But
Gaga was obviously there. She's
yeah,
apparently part of guest starring in part two of season two of Wednesday. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for Forever. I've heard so much good stuff about it, and I'd really like to, you know, you know,
yeah. At some point, there's just so much to watch. Like legitimately, if you were ever given the you see all these things online like um could you stay in this nice mansion for $100 million for 90 days and you have no this and no people and not just if we have a Netflix account you can literally be there for
the
a
entire
couple
time.
years and not have anything to run out of anything to watch. So yeah, I probably could.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the big thing. Yeah, and this week, kind of a busy week for us, right? You know what I mean? We got the ballerina screening tomorrow night, so we'll be dropping our thoughts on that. That we'll be covering ballerina on the podcast here next week. Um, How to Train a Dragon, we're seeing that on Tuesday. If all goes well, we'll be seeing something else on Sunday, hopefully, crossing my fingers. What else? Trying to, did you? I had no desire to go see The Karate Kid. Something else is dropping this week, right? I feel like I'm
I
missing.
know what's it called. Bring Her Back just dropped. I haven't. I planned on seeing it yesterday, but I had a family emergency pop up, um, and I think the Life of Chuck is going to be dropping. What else
that's a
is?
that's a movie.
I feel like there is something else though.
Oh, that Dangerous Animals is coming out. That shit looks dope.
Yeah, yeah.
That looks
I
really good
forgot
to
about
me.
that one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and then
So
we were talking about that tornado movie. I just started seeing some advertisements for it, like randomly.
it's actually limited release right now, and it's playing in one of the theaters nearby. It's like a one showing, I think. But
Of course.
Life of Chuck comes out on the 13th.
Is it the 13th?
I guess it goes wide to 13th,
Oh, okay, okay.
so it does come out. But yeah, so this weekend, Dan Evil Eye. I don't know what that is.
Oh,
Oh,
Dan to Dan, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Dangerous Animals from the World of John Wick, Ballerina, The Ritual, and the Phonician Scheme, or whatever it's called, all come out
I'm on the
wide
fence
this weekend.
about the ritual. Like, and this is, I think this is supposed to be back to the original exorcism, but this is like done in a way that supposedly done in a way that's never been done and goes into some aspects of it that haven't been shown before. I don't know, man. Like exorcism movies don't really do it for me when it comes to supernatural films. I've seen every rendition of a possessed girl or woman crawling upside down on a ceiling and a wall and head spinning around and throwing it. At some point, like y'all just if y'all just have to show the original footage. I don't know if there was original footage, but it seems like there was, or the most detailed account of something for there to be so many movies about this one. Because I don't know if people know this. Every single exorcism movie is about or based off this one exorcism, just this one, and they just keep on making movies after it. I don't know, man. I like I think Abby Cohen, I think is her name, Abigail Cohen, who's playing the woman in the movie, but I don't know. It's just they just don't do it for me. Like they can be good, but I want to be creeped out or made to feel fearful. I just don't.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. But yeah, so it's summer season starting. You know what I mean? We've got the June 6th seems to be like the last kind of meh. And I'm saying
Yeah.
meh. Dangerous Animal does look good. I mean, but then after that, you have How to Train Your Dragon. The Material is. Oh, yeah, I mean, your Ballerina comes out this week too. I'm not meh on that yet, but give me 24 hours. How to Train Your Dragon. The Materials. 28 years later. Helio, F1, Megan, Jurassic World, Superman, Eddington, I Know What You Did Last Summer, Smurfs, Fantastic Four. That's like the next, 6 or 7 weeks at the theaters. So definitely stuff coming out. Definitely stuff to watch, and that doesn't even include what's coming out on streaming. So you
Right.
know what I mean. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the Popcorn People Podcast. Make sure to check out all our work everywhere. Don Fish, you can check out stuff over at Geek Five Nation. You can check out my stuff at Phantom Wire and 700,000 other places. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
Peace.